So as you lie down on the floor, start by noticing your breath, how air is coming in and out of your lungs. Just observing how your chest cavity expands and contracts to let the air in. Send your attention as you continue breathing to the left shoulder joint and to the right shoulder joint. And feel the space inside your body between the left and the right shoulder joint. Now, send your attention to your right hip joint and then your left hip joint. And feel that space within between one hip joint and the other. These are the four corners. Now, let your attention go to the space above the roof of your mouth, in between your ears. This is more or less where your head sits on top of your neck. Feel the length of the spine from this point all the way down through the neck, the chest, and the abdomen, all the way down to the tailbone. Feel the pressure of your tailbone in between your two hip joints. And just notice how your spine is in between those 4 points, the 2 shoulder joints and the 2 hip joints. As you breathe in and out, now very gently and so slowly, move your attention to the tip of the tailbone and just move it up a little bit until you feel you have flattened your waistline into the floor without lifting your butt off the floor. And then do the opposite movement. Bring the tip of the tailbone into the floor, arching up your waistline or your lumbar curve. Don't force it. Just notice the resistance along the line of the spine. So you're going to go from pointing the tip of the tailbone, the coccyx, up towards the ceiling, and then pressing it against the floor. And as you repeat that movement, let your attention stay along the line of the spine and how sensations change in the space between the shoulders and in the space between your two hip joints. This is a micro movement. It's not a big movement. Basically, you are flattening the waistline into the floor when you tip the tailbone up, and then you're arching up the waistline as you bring the tailbone into the floor. And all you got to do is feel the space between the two shoulder joints and the two hip joints. Just allow yourself to feel what you can relax, what you can let go in the space between the shoulders and in the space between the two hip joints. Now let that movement come to a stop slowly and let your tailbone come to a rest position and just notice the breathing. Now feel the space between the two shoulder joints and between the two hip joints. Now feel the space between your two ears in space. Feel the volume of space inside your head, in the space that surrounds you. In other words, send your attention from inside your head, in between your ears, and the space in the room in which you find yourself. Simultaneously, try to connect to that inner space as you feel the space around you. Now, send your attention to the space between your shoulders, in the space that surrounds your body. So it's feeling the space between the shoulders, in space. As you breathe in and out, feel now the space in between your two hip joints, in the space that surrounds your body. And now feel the space inside your thoracic cavity, between the two shoulder joints and the two hip joints, in the space surrounding you as you breathe in and out. Just noticing how the space is opening up as you relax and continue to pay attention to the space within, in the space without. Now, send your attention to the bottom of the pelvis, where the sphincters are, where the sit bones are. That is your root center. Continue breathing gently, just noticing the changes in your body as you move your attention through the energy centers. We have started with the root center at the bottom of the pelvis, where the sphincters are. Now move your attention to 2 finger widths below the navel, in the middle of your body, in front of your sacrum. And just notice that space within your body, in the space around you. as you breathe in and out. Now, send your attention to the bottom of the rib cage, where you feel the expansion and contraction of your diaphragm, the main breathing muscle. As you inhale and exhale, just let your attention be there, just a little bit below the diaphragm, where the pit of the stomach is. That's your solar plexus. Allow yourself to breathe into that spot. Now send your attention to your heart center, just below your sternum muscle, in between the two lungs, a little bit to the left. Try to sense your heart contracting and expanding. Feel the pulse of the heart. Now send your attention to the middle of your throat. Feel the middle of the throat in the room that you're in the space surrounding you. Now, send your attention to the space in between your eyes at the level of the eyebrows, in the middle of your head, a little bit below the line that goes from one ear to the other. This is your pineal gland center. In between your eyebrows, just a tiny little bit above your eye. And now, for the seventh center, let your attention go to 1 or 2 inches above your eyebrows, in the middle of your head. Just let your attention be there as you breathe in and out. This is your crown center. Noticing how your body is responding to the awareness of these 7 energy centers. And feel the expansion of the breath going in and out, noticing how your body may have changed. Now, very slowly and gently move the tailbone up towards the ceiling, just enough to flatten the waistline into the floor, and then do the opposite. Press it into the floor to bring the waistline off the floor, and go back and forth 2 more times. Bring that gentle movement to a stop and let your tailbone relax and come to a rest position. And now allow your knees From the bent position with the feet, close your buttocks to move from side to side. Allow them to fall into the ground, twisting your body from side to side, and allow your head to either follow the knees or go in the direction opposite to the knees. Continue breathing deep into the bottom of the pelvis as you let the knees move from side to side. And then very gently and slowly roll over onto one side and slowly push yourself with your arms to sitting and then standing. Try to relax your neck and shoulders as you bring yourself up to stand on your feet. Do it slowly at your own pace. And when you're ready to stand on your feet, just go for a walk around the room, feeling your feet, feeling the space within the four corners, just noticing what has changed for you.